What is up, sports world? And welcome to a Friday edition of the Angry Hacks podcast. I am Nunzi, and I'm here with two of my fellow hacks. What's up, boys?
What's going on?
How's it going, Ryan?
We got Stan the Man and Michael Hall with me. All right, today we're giving you your Friday sports mix-up. Get you ready for a great weekend. And we're going to discuss a various number of sports topics. So, Michael Hall, why don't we get us started, buddy?
Yeah, you want to talk crappy Yankee baseball right now? Because it's pissing me off. Losing again tonight. Let me say, what are they down? 6-1 right now. Another uninspired effort last night. You know what really pisses me off? I'll tell you what really pisses me off. Cashman goes out. He makes great moves. We talked about the deadline acquisitions. And he really, he tells the team, we're going for it, right? We have a good team right now. And with these moves, I'm really going to try to make us great and really try to make some noise in the playoffs. And the jewel of the deadline, Sonny Gray, takes the mound, and we play one of the worst first innings defensively you could play as a Major League Baseball team. Did you guys see the first inning?
I did.
First batter of the game, a ground ball to first base. And my boy Chase Headley just boots it, just coughs it, man on first, okay? By the way, Sonny Gray, with that sinker he throws, it's a ground ball machine. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing.
And Ben Headley boots it. Second guy, ground ball to second. Hit kind of slowly, can't turn to. Tyler Wade kind of makes me nervous fielding it, but makes the play. Okay. Next batter, ground ball to Wade again. Boots it, error number 2, and the guy goes to third. Okay, we got first and third, one out. Next guy is Ramirez, the Indians' probably their best player. Finally hits a ball hard out to Clint Frazier. And Clint Frazier, probably all jacked up, returned to Cleveland, right, the team that drafted him. And he almost throws into Lake Erie. He threw it like 6 rows deep. So the run scores from third. Brantley, who was going from first to third, he gets home because of the overthrow. It's unbelievable. 3 errors. Sonny Gray's like, well, send me back to Oakland. It was unbelievable.
Are you sure this is the Mets you're talking about?
No, this was Yankee baseball. I mean, and then I know it's Corey Kluber last night. All right, sometimes you just gotta tip your hat. But the offense right now is just uninspired, sputtering, just leaving guys in scoring position with less than 2 over and over and over and over. I mean, the night before is Anibal Sanchez. So if you want to give Kluber credit, fine. But, Sanchez 2 nights ago, Trevor Bauer tonight, we're not getting anything done. It's just uninspired baseball at a really bad time against a team that you really wanted to see where you measured up against in a division leader in Cleveland and the reigning pennant winner. And it's just driving me crazy.
Yeah. Well,
that's all I had to say about the Yankees right now. That's it.
Yeah, I know. I want that's funny. I mean, what you just described was just it was just one inning of just absolute disaster.
The first inning, Sonny Gray's first inning, and he's getting the ground balls, easy routine ground balls. They were just kicking it around.
And it's funny, I didn't watch that whole inning, but I did see the Headley boot, and that looked like Little League.
The second pitch of the game, I think. Just lets it handcuff him, and it's just terrible.
Well, after this deadline, and they get like you said, the jewel of their deadline was Sonny Gray, and it's funny, he comes out there and like you said, he's throwing these ground balls. It's the guy that you want pitching for the Yankees when their home games are at Yankee Stadium. You want that ground ball pitcher, and he went deep in the game and he looked really good. So I know they can't play defense for him yesterday. Hopefully they can in upcoming games. But I think the future is bright here for Sonny Gray in New York pinstripes. Yeah. He looked good. He looked good in them.
He threw well. I forget what his final line was, but he didn't give up more than 5 hits. And to tell you the truth, I don't like to bitch too much about strike zones, but he got squeezed a little last night. And I remember 2 particular occasions. He got squeezed in the 4th, and that led to a lot of extra pitches. And then he got squeezed right before Yan Gomes, right, hit the 2-run double. I thought he got. I forget who was the guy before him, but he got squeezed a little there. He could have got out in that inning. I thought he threw the ball really, really well. He got the ground balls you wanted in the times you needed ground balls, and we kicked it around. And we didn't hit Kluber, and good night.
Yeah. Well, you know what? A lot of season left, my man.
No, I know, but man, tonight we're the same. Jaime Garcia is not Sonny Gray, and I understand that, but he's just going out there and getting knocked around. So just
So
already a bad start to the trip.
Okay. So
Interesting thing on Jaime Garcia. Did you see that stat where he now holds the record for like pitching for the most teams or starting for the most teams in 13 days? He's pitched for 3 teams.
Is that right?
Yeah, he took it over for Ron Darling and pitched for like 3 teams in 23 days back in the day, and now Garcia just took it over.
That's great.
It's a weird thing the Twins did. You thought they were buying, and then they're like, nah, we'll just sell. Literally, and Garcia was the guy they just turned around. Really strange.
Who did they gave up a few prospects, the Twins, correct?
Well, they gave up
for Garcia.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
The Twins gave up 1 prospect for Garcia, and I think cash considerations. And then they got 2 prospects from the Yankees. One guy,
right.
26, who has really good numbers, but he's 26 in the minors, and then another younger guy, I think 22. But Jaime, he'll be okay. He's not going to be Sonny Gray, like you said, though. He's your more of your fifth, sixth starter here, but it's good depth.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's finish off with the Yankees here with your boy Michael Kay. Tell us a little bit about him.
You guys know how I feel about Michael Kay, and talking to you guys, the Mets have the best announcers in the game. And I think that's widely accepted across the league between Gary Cohen and Ron Darling and Keith Hernandez. It's such a great broadcasting team. And sometimes during Yankee games, I'm not even ashamed to admit this, I'll flip over to the Mets broadcast because I just want to hear some coherent information and just some good broadcast. Michael Kay is the worst. He's the worst. I can't.
Yeah. I totally agree with Mike.
Listen to this. The other night, do you remember when it was Gardner's walk-off a few days ago? Remember Judge? He got the chipped tooth in the celebration.
Yes,
you guys see that
on the helmet?
Yep.
Got hit with a stray helmet. The next night, Judge hits a home run, and he hits a home run, and then the inning goes on and ends, whatever, and going into the commercial break, they're showing the replay of the home run, and Michael Kay said something. I want to get this exactly right. It's like, what a way to cap off the inning, and he threw in another like dentist pun, and I knew he was sitting there the whole inning thinking about these things. It never comes across organically. It never comes across like it's off the. It's always like prepared and stock and just. I'm so sick of it. It's terrible. And Bob Lorenz, who does the Yes studio stuff with that jackass, whatever his name is. What's like you guys know what I'm talking about? Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry.
Right.
Jackass Curry. You guys are an idiot. But Bob Lorenz is doing his little studio thing, I think 2 nights ago, and throws it back to Kay, and he came up, he had a stupid little pun. I can't remember what it was. And Kay made fun of him for it. He's like, oh, really, Bob, with that pun? I wanted to jump through the TV and strangle him. Like, that's all you do, Kay. That's like your whole shtick. I'm sick of it.
Michael Kay should just stick to center stage. You know what? I think that's all he's good for. And even on that show, he pisses me off sometimes. I used to listen to his radio show, and I thought his sidekicks, his co-hosts, were better than he was.
Yeah, right?
Like watching paint dry, because I don't know if I want to watch the game in silence. I don't know.
Sometimes I do.
That's
what you said, Mike.
Yeah,
it's much more entertaining listening to John Sterling and Susan Waldman because at least they make me laugh.
Right. I'm tired of it, and I'm gonna have to deal with him forever. I feel like forever. I look like Kay, and he's like a prima donna. He won't go on certain road trips. He like picks and chooses where he's going, and I love it when Singleton just does the play-by-play, or even Christ, even like John Flaherty, who it's better than Kay. It's better than Kay every single time, and it's just that's terrible.
Which is it's funny because Flaherty sounds like a monotone robot.
Oh, John Flaherty, every sentence, ends on the same uptick with the voice every single time, like that. It drives a little crazy, but it's still better than Michael Kay.
Well, it's funny that you say Michael Kay. He takes off sometimes. That's the great thing about Gary Cohen. You'll never take off, and when he does, you're like shocked. You're like, well, dude, what happened? What happened to Gary Cohen tonight?
And actually, John Sterling's the same way. John Sterling hasn't missed a game since like 1979 when he used to call games for the Braves in Atlanta.
That's great.
He's like the Iron Man of the radio.
As much as he is is lost at times, he's funny.
It's still some entertainment value.
Exactly.
Oh, very, very much so. Entertainment value.
And he's like a lifer too. That guy is like a lifer.
Yeah, he's an institution at this point. Love him or hate him, and I kind of like John Sterling, but Michael Kay, my God, I can't do. I'll just watch games on mute from now on, I think.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because the Yankees and the Red Sox, they always had that heated rivalry. I feel like even just being a Met fan, and I know Rye, you feel the same way, and Mike, you have to feel the same way. That Red Sox Yankees rivalry isn't as strong anymore as it used to be with the Big Papi and Manny Ramirez and A-Rod days and Jason Varitek, all that stuff, the big fights and everything, Well,
that's because the Red Sox finally won, and it kind of, I think it lost its luster there.
I think you have a pretty good point with that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But I guess someone's trying to bring it back to life because Mike, you discussed something with me with Dave Dombrowski, the Red Sox president.
Yeah, Dombrowski. You know what? When that story first came out, when he made the Golden State Warrior comment about the Yankees, he was just referring to the Yankees as the Warriors as he spoke to whatever beat writer or whatever, and it really pissed me off at first. And then I kind of saw I kind of learned the context of the conversation. It was a little tongue in cheek because Cashman said that about the Red Sox after they traded for Sale.
Yes.
So I kind of calmed down about it, and then I kind of started to get pissed off about it again. I mean, Dave Dombrowski. First of all, this is a guy who left the Detroit Tiger farm system in absolute shambles. If you want to go and look it up, the prospects they had before Dombrowski and their farm system after Dombrowski, he cleaned out the cupboard completely. It was almost embarrassing. So he comes to Boston and he starts doing the same thing. I mean, yes, he gets Chris Sale, but he trades Yoan Moncada and the kid help me out. Who's the pitcher that was really, really hard? Michael Kopech or
Kopech.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, 100 plus.
It's like Statman or something. He could throw
Right.
Yeah.
Really high prospect. I understand Sale, but there's two of the highest Red Sox prospects gone. He trades for Tyler Thornburg, the reliever from Milwaukee. If you're wondering where Travis Shaw went, it was for that guy who has done absolutely nothing for Boston. He signs David Price. You know how that's going. Let alone the injuries. You got the thing with Eckersley on the plane, and it's not a good look. Pablo Sandoval. I mean, I have some advice for Dave Dombrowski. Yeah, the comments were a little joking. Just keep your mouth shut. All right?
Well,
you have not been doing a good job up there. And you know what else? You know why they didn't really make too big of a splash at the deadline, Boston? Because the ownership told them not to touch the top prospects because they knew he would get his greasy little fingers on them and clean out their farm system.
Yeah, too bad. The Mets might have gotten the three top prospects in the organization.
He might have done it. The ownership had to handcuff this guy because he's out of control. So you know what, Dombrowski? You want to make Golden State Warriors comments? You're the one who's starting this in baseball, so keep your mouth shut.
Well, you know what? He's jealous. He's jealous of the Yankees. He comes out from the trade deadline with Nunez and Reed. Pretty good haul, right? But the Yankees come in with Sonny Gray, Robertson, Canley, Jaime Garcia, and Frazier. So he's just clearly jealous. Now, the other thing here that really gets in my craw, okay, is the fact that you're saying someone's like the Warriors. Well, you know what? Who gives a shit? Why are you mad at the team for running their team the right way? The Golden State Warriors ran their team the right way. It's why they have 4 stars in their team, and I don't care. I want my team to do stuff like that too. So you know what? I'm not hating Kevin Durant for going to the Warriors. Yeah, it sucks because my team's never going to win. I mean, maybe we have a puncher's chance, but that's about it. This team has 4 superstars because they ran their team the right way. And then they have Iguodala that they could sign to a contract. They could spend their money the right way. And you know what? Cashman is doing this with the Yankees. He is running the team the right way, building the farm system last year, trading for pieces this year. And you know what? Getting Sonny Gray, he has years left. I think Hanley has years left. I think does Robertson have years left?
I believe he does.
I think he does. So you know what? These trades are not just setting him up for now. They're setting him up for the next few years. And they still kept their best prospects, Dave Dombrowski.
I know. It's just the comment is just so so stupid on so many levels. Didn't the Warriors just draft most of that team? Yeah, Durant signed there, but aren't like Klay Thompson and Steph Curry and Draymond Green, they drafted all these guys, correct?
They drafted him, and they drafted Draymond in the 2nd round. Every team in the NBA passed on him.
Yeah, so, but here's my point with Dombrowski. Yeah, he makes the comments because he's kind of firing back at Cashman. And Cashman, listen, when Cashman makes the Golden State Warrior comment about the Red Sox, he's kind of right because that's what Dombrowski does. He throws money at the best guys, and he sees what sticks, and nothing really has. And Cashman, like you said, is doing it the right way. Dombrowski's pissed about it because he's a crappy GM, and he spits it out, and it's so stupid. So just shut up, Dombrowski, because you did a terrible job. You're doing a terrible job in Boston. And another thing, I think I never really want to defend Red Sox fans, but the kind of feeling I'm getting is they're kind of getting sick of this team. And it starts with Dombrowski and John Farrell and this crybaby team. You know what I mean? Like, I think fans are getting sick of it, and it starts with Dombrowski. So he should just keep his mouth shut and learn how to do a better job.
Well, the crazy thing to me is the fact that, one, ownership tells him, you can't trade top prospects. So they put the handcuffs on him. I can't blame ownership. But then why is he your GM? Why is he running your team?
Yeah,
if
exactly.
If you have to put handcuffs on him, get somebody else. It's not like the
they
team
don't trust him.
Gambles when Theo left.
Yeah,
exactly. It sounds like they don't trust him.
You know what, too, Mike? For him making that comment, too, he looks like a fool. Because
he does. Cashman
already made the comment. You're saying the same thing Cashman did.
Right.
Like, think of your own shit. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I know.
And he does. He looks like an absolute fool. But seriously, guys, talking about building a squad like the Warriors did, what is the ultimate goal of your team? To do what?
To win a championship.
Championship. And look what the Warriors did. You cannot fault the team for building it up, getting the best players they can. Listen, I'm a New York Mets fan. I bleed blue and orange. Hated the Yankees all my life, but they did the right thing. They won all those championships because they did the right thing. They built their team up the right way, the correct way to what? Win championships. I'm sitting here as a fan. I want championships. I don't want second place. I don't want to make the playoffs 3 years in a row and get knocked out in the first round every year. I want championships. Think about being a Bills fan 4 years in a row to the Super Bowl and you lose every one of them.
That has been the most brutal thing to live through.
Brutal.
I can't even imagine that. Like, you would think, like, okay, we're gonna win one, right? You just never do. That's got to be unbelievable.
It is, guys. I mean, but, you made great points there, Mike. You really did. And I just want to say, Ryan, I know, we're big Met fans right here. And, it's been a rough year, to say the least. It really has. It's been a rough year.
Yeah, we're sellers at the deadline. It's never good.
Deadline. It's never good. After 2 years ago, we were sitting in the World Series. So, we're up and down this year. A lot of injuries. Last couple of games have been rough. Lost 6 of the last 8 games. Mike, something stuck in your craw, Rye, something stuck in your craw. This one sticks in my craw. You ready for this?
Yep.
His name is Hansel Robles.
Oh, my God.
Okay? I just want to break down what happened yesterday in the Mets 5-4 loss to the Rockies. Okay? So, it's a 4-4 game, and Robles gets the 8th. Okay, a tie game, that's fine. He goes perfect in the 8th. Great. Getting him some innings, whatever. Okay? So he comes back out in the 9th. The Mets do nothing in the top of the 9th. So he comes back out in the bottom of the 9th. And I'm looking and I'm like, something just doesn't feel right. You know when you get that feeling in sports when you know something bad is going to happen, that disaster is going to happen?
Of course, we're Met fans.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it definitely happened. I want to break down the 9th for you really quick because it's sticking in my craw still. Okay, first batter, Lucroy. He hits him. Hits the leadoff batter.
Not the best start.
That's called a free base. Okay? Man on first. Okay, the next guy up, Vailaka, sack bunt. Perfect job, right? You know, you're home, bottom of the 9th, get the guy in scoring position.
Get him over.
That's what you got to do. Okay, so that's his 1 out he got. It's a free 1 out, basically, correct? Free 1 out. Okay, next guy up is one of the best outfielders in the game right now, Charlie Blackmon. I'd love to have him on my team. So they intentionally walk him, base open. Okay, first and second. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. Sets up the force plays. Okay, right. You got 1 out, ground ball, double play.
Yeah, correct? His run doesn't matter. Put him on.
Right, put him on. Let's get the force, a couple of easier outs here. All right, but what does he do? Next batter, LeMahieu. He walks him on 5 pitches. Walks him on 5 pitches. So now the bases are loaded for arguably one of the best players in the game today. And who's that? Nolan Arenado. Okay. Now this is what, like, my blood is boiling right now.
Yeah, I can tell.
It is. Okay. So he goes full to him. 3-2 count. Bases are loaded. And now there's 1 out still. 1 out. What does he do? There's no chance. He gives the Mets no chance here. Ball 4, 10 feet over the catcher's head.
Worse than Kenny Rogers.
Dude, it was
I was just
real
going to say,
bad.
he's reminiscent of Kenny Rogers.
Right. Did you end up seeing that pitch?
Yeah, I saw the pitch.
Was it not 10 feet over the head?
I think he was like, yeah, of course it was. It was like, I just don't understand.
You get that thin Colorado air, the ball really takes off.
Exactly, Mike. I think he shit his pants. Like it took him a while to realize the situation he was in. He's like, oh, shit, bases are loaded. If I throw this over 10 feet over his head, we're going to lose. And he does it.
Take this stupid red man, big league chew combo out of your freaking mouth. Calm down and stop slingshotting the baseball, because that's what he does. It's a slingshot.
That wad in his mouth is like John Blackout Gatling in Little Big League. It's disgusting. Disgusting.
So, I mean, that's
pack your bags, pack
them,
and get out of here.
So, I had to get that out. Now I'm sweating because I had to get that out. He really bothers me. The guy should never wear the Mets uniform again.
What, Rye, though? I'm gonna make you feel a little better about the last few days that have been a struggle for Met fans. Okay.
Go ahead, bud.
I look at the last few days. We're already sellers at the deadline. I'm kind of accepting the fact that we're not going to make it, even though we're not mathematically out yet. There's always hope until you're mathematically out. However, have been okay in one aspect. The move that the Mets finally made a few days ago after the deadline, which is when I wanted them to do it, was call up Rosario.
Beautiful.
And yes, he struggled in the field a little. He's had a couple of mental lapses. He has, when he gets that ground ball, he does that double clutch before he throws to first, where he taps the glove. But you know what? He's young. It will come. We're going to work with him. He's going to get better. But what I love to see, something the Mets haven't had, and we talked about this together, they haven't had speed in forever. Yeah. He already has 2 triples in his first few games. And let me tell you, the first one was just because out of the box, he ran like a deer. and he's running, and a fan in left field picks up the ball as he's on second base. But because it's in real time, the umpire looks, and after he sees the fan touch it, and Rosario looks like he's already halfway to third.
Yep.
So the ump gives him third base because he has no choice. And really, it should have been a double, but Rosario just busted his ass and ran, I mean, faster than I could remember anybody running for the Mets and hustling for the Mets in recent time. And he got us a triple. Then he gets one the next night.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Right, we were on the phone for that triple, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was fun to watch. He, he looks like he wants to be here. He's working his ass off. He's getting that, that veteran information from guys like Jose Reyes and guys that are, that are kind of like being his mentors and stuff. And it's great because, he's the future of the New York Mets. He's the future.
Well, actually, the speed and the spark that he has given the Mets the last few days, I know we're losing games, but the spark that he's given the fans and us is something that Reyes gave us when he came up. And it hasn't been since then that we've had a guy this fast to do that type of thing. And the thing is because of this, I actually think Reyes will be back next year because they like him mentoring Rosario. I think they're going to have him come back and mentor Rosario for next year because Reyes probably wants to stay on Met. He's never done anything well anywhere else. He loves New York. I think he'll be back to tutor Rosario and be like the mentor on the field for him.
Well, it's really nice to see. Like you said, we haven't had this spark since Jose came into the league, and it's beautiful to see. And now I can't wait for our next prospect, Dominic Smith, the first baseman, to come up, which should probably be in a couple of weeks, which is and it makes us as Met fans, knowing that we're out of it already. I mean, technically, mathematically, we're not, but we know where this is going. We were sellers, but it makes us watch the games. It does. Bringing these guys up makes us watch the games because we want to watch the future of the New York Mets.
Right. And the one thing I really want to see in the next 2 years or like ever, I want to see a seller sell their high-level talent, get back prospects, and make a playoff run and make the playoffs somehow. I'm sure it's happened before, but I was trying to think about it the other day. Has this happened before? Can you guys recall any of that? Because I can't.
Offhand, I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I would love to see it though, because it would be kind of a cool story if you you bring up the young guns and you just make a run and you trade all your vets.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. That would be real cool to see. But I mean, last thing I want to say about the Mets, it's a very, very important offseason for them, and that's for another pod. We got another pod to talk about that, but I'm hoping that we get back on in the right direction because we need it. We need it badly.
Well, it happened a few days ago when we called up Rosario, so let's keep moving that way.
Beautiful, beautiful. Guys, let's switch gears a little bit. We're gonna talk a little football now. Football's back in the air,
football
boys.
Season.
Yep, it's back in the air. So just to reiterate to all the viewers, me and Stan the Man, we're both Giants fans, New York Giants fans, and then our fellow hack over here, Michael Hall, is a huge Green Bay Packer fan.
That's right. The G on the helmet stands for greatness.
Great.
Not Green Bay.
I thought it was Grambling.
They stole it, I think.
I think they did. Well, you know what? Let's talk some current topics then. The Dolphins. I mean, I've been watching the NFL Network the last couple of days, just watching training camps live, and it's really fun to see. And I had happened to see the other day watching the Dolphins, and all of a sudden their QB goes down again, non-contact injury, right to the knee. Holds it right away as he falls down. So right away, guys, you feel like, boom, that's an ACL, correct?
Correct.
Usually how it works, yeah.
Yeah, usually how it works. So the funny thing is now they're without their starting quarterback again. And mind you, you guys know their backup quarterback, Matt Moore. He's a pretty solid backup, I think. He's pretty good.
Very good backup.
Yes, he's one of the better backups in the league. But I mean, you come into the season, you want your starting lineup in there, and unfortunately, with football and the contact and it's sometimes not applicable because guys get hurt very easily. So what do the Dolphins do? They go out and reach out to a quarterback who was under a little bit of the tutelage of their head coach, Adam Gase, and that would be Mr. Jay Cutler, who was released in March by the Bears. So
Adam Gase, didn't you learn the first time?
Hey, but Ryan, what are you talking about? In 2015, he threw 25 touchdowns and only had 11 picks with Adam Gase.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, anyway, so they actually reached out to him, and Jay is very interested. He's very interested, but he wants to only play if he's a starter. Now, Mike, you being a Packers fan, you know Mr. Cutler very well, don't you?
No, I sure do. You know, when Jay Cutler was cut from the Bears, it was one of the saddest days of my life as a sports fan. I could buy a Jay Cutler Bear jersey and wear it around proudly as a Packer fan. He was one of my favorite players. The guy threw us the ball all the time. And, you know, even if he was having a decent game, you just wait and wait. And Charles Woodson used to say it. He used to tell the guys in the defense, "Don't worry, Jay's going to throw us the ball." And Jay would throw us the ball in the big spot every single time. And you know, and then the Bears cut him. I knew the day was coming soon, and I had a small little funeral for Jay's service in Chicago.
It's funny you say like Jay Cutler. One, you had him before Adam Gase. You can tell me all you want about 2015. Adam Gase secretly doesn't want him. He's just making the phone call to seem okay. And who are you, Jay Cutler? Who are you to say I'm not coming unless I'm the starter? Well, you know what, bro?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't know if you were done or not, but well, you know what? It's just really funny because you know, you see things like that, and it's, you know, it's the beginning of the season, not even the beginning of the season yet, and it's just, it catches your attention. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for football. Cannot wait.
You know what? You know what's funny, Ryan? We just had that little gap. I said, you know, and Jay Cutler, you're done. And then this huge freaking thunderstruck boomed outside my window, and I'm like, oh, we might have just lost connection.
Yeah, I thought I didn't know what was going on. Maybe we
Did
were
you hear the boom? It was like window rattling.
It was. So, you know,
It was the power of Jay Cutler.
it's the power of Jay Cutler.
He must have heard me.
Don't you talk bad about Jay. He'll get you.
He'll get you. He's looking up. He's looking at us. He's in us. He's in our minds. Well, today was great too because I was watching NFL Network again, and they actually happened to stumble upon the Giants training camp today. So I was pretty psyched. So it was, I was watching that a little bit. Ryan, we had a pretty big scare the other day with Sterling Shepard, man. I mean, I remember when that happened. I saw you sent us a text and of the update, and it was very, very disheartening for a little while because
it didn't sound good at first. That's for sure.
Yeah, he went down, and right away he was kind of emotional. And you know, when a guy gets emotional, a lot of times he knows the injury is bad. And then for him to get carted off the field, holy cow, that's like a double whammy right there. So we had to hold our breath for a couple of minutes and everything until they checked him out and the reports came out. So the good thing is, Rye, apparently it's a low ankle sprain, okay, and I think a bone bruise. So apparently we're in the clear with him. Just he's going to take some rest. I think he already got out of the boot. He was in the boot, but he's out now, which is good. What do you think about that, Roy?
Well, you know what? I just think at this time of the year, I think we better give him a little extra time to rest. So if they tell you, oh, it's, 2-3 weeks, give him 4 or 5 weeks, 4 weeks. Rest a little longer. Make sure he doesn't come back too early. It's something the Mets would do. I just don't want to see that with this young guy after getting, 50 catches and 8 touchdowns last year in his rookie season, and then having Marshall coming in this year and Ingram, it could really open the passing game for him, especially with Odell demanding a double. Who are they going to, Yeah. So I don't want this. No. We need this guy this year. We need him. He's going to take the next step, and I'm just happy that he's out of the boot already.
Yep.
I'm happy that it's not worse than as worse as we thought. I think as worse as we thought. I think the was precautionary measures.
Exactly. And you know what? He's got a little special place in my heart. You guys probably know because he was an Oklahoma Sooner.
Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, he's a Sooner. So I've known him for a couple of years, and I know how badly he wants to be out there, and I know how excited he is for this season. I mean, I know we're excited for this season. I have high hopes for this team, man. I really do. Second year defense under Spags again, which we know in the past that guy brought us a Super Bowl for a great defense that year.
And you know what? The Giants are doing something that's really hard to do in sports these days, especially in football. They're basically bringing back the same team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, there's a few changes, but we're bringing back the same team. It doesn't happen all the time, and I think this is going to be huge for us this year.
You know what else I saw? I actually saw on the TV today about their camp was there at Giants camp. There's been a lot of fights on the field already. It's crazy.
I like that.
You know what, Mike? I like it too. I mean,
football, man. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Other people look at it as the chemistry's off or
Yeah.
what's going on in the locker room. I think they want to win so bad, so they're putting everything they got out there, even in practice.
I'd be worried if guys weren't fighting each other in training camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Because
They've been waiting all off season to get their hands on somebody. You know what I mean? And it's explosive.
I agree. And what's
Nothing
training
wrong with
camp for? Training camp is for guys to get back into their roles, to get back into it, haven't gotten their hands on somebody well, but it's also the time for guys that don't have a secure roster spot to fight for their position.
Fighting for jobs.
Perfect.
You're fighting for a job. So you know what? Bring that attitude, bring it to the field, bring it to training camp, bring it to the regular season, bring it against these division opponents. Let's go Giants.
You know what? This team is very confident this year too. With all the social media, you get to see a lot of the players' Twitter feeds and Facebook posts and Instagram posts. So I follow a couple of the guys, and they got their locker room stuff going on. And I don't know if you saw this, Ride. They had Damon Snacks Harrison was dancing, and you had Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie dancing. Now all of a sudden they pan to the right, and against the wall, there's Eli doing a little jig.
The white boy dance in the corner.
Did you guys see that?
I saw it. Yes, I did.
Dude, it was great. It was awesome to see.
So you know what? If you're fighting on the field and then you're like coming together in the locker room, I think that's a good thing.
This team's confident. I'm telling you, it's a different aura in that locker room. I feel it. I'm not even there. I feel it. I taste it. It's palpable.
I agree. And I you know what's funny? I've heard a lot of interviews with Brandon Marshall lately. Great offseason addition. But I really think because of his veteran leadership, this team, every single guy on this team knows that he has never been to the playoffs. Right. And they want nothing more than for him to have made the right decision, to take a pay cut, to come play for the New York Giants and to make the playoffs. They want that for him. I know they want it for themselves, but let me tell you, a guy like Brandon Marshall really brings a lot out of other guys. Jets that year with Decker. I mean, they really dynamite.
Your boy.
Over like 25. I think they had like 25 touchdowns between the two of them.
Yeah, and it's just exciting. It's an exciting time. But if we look across the country a little bit, and there's the Green Bay Packers. What are they doing, Mike? I mean, because I don't know much of what's going on over there in Wisconsin.
Listen, we're just chugging along. Keeping our heads down, just getting ready, and the success the Packers have had since I've been a fan, which is going back to the early '90s. I've been spoiled, and to be honest, I don't follow the day-to-day stuff in the offseason because I just have such a trust for the organization that everything's just going fine, everyone's doing the right thing, and we'll be there at the beginning of the season, and we'll be the favorites to win the North. I mean,
Mike, the other day I asked you what you felt about I know Eddie Lacy has left, and I asked you who the running back's going to be in Green Bay because I just assumed that they would sign someone, but you told me they're going with Ty Montgomery. What do you think of that?
I love it, and like I told you the other day, I think a big misconception is, Ty Montgomery, what a job by a wide receiver just playing running back. No, this guy has been a running back his whole entire life, and I'm talking growing up in Texas. So you know what that's worth. And the only reason he became a wide receiver was it was a senior year in high school. They got a brand new coaching staff that wanted to run the spread. So guess what? We're not going to run the football. And guess what, Ty? You're the best athlete, so go play wide receiver. And guess what? Again, he was really good at it. So he gets recruited as a wide receiver. He goes to Stanford, and away he goes. This guy's a running back, and you can tell when he runs the ball, he knows what he's doing. And he got better with each and every week. He got better. Each and every snap, he got better. Rodgers trusts him back there. They can leave him on the field for all 3 downs, and he produced week in and week out. And so I expect him fully to be the lead dog back there. They drafted, I think, like 18 running backs. So we'll see how the room, shapes out. But, Christian Michael's gone. He had a cup of coffee. It's going to be Montgomery and see what these kids can do to back him up. That's how I feel about it.
Well, that's good. I mean, and the fact that Ty Montgomery's has a full season of training camp as the running back is only going to help him more.
Absolutely. I mean, he's still new at NFL running back. I understand that. But the way this offensive line plays and the way you obviously have to respect the passing game, I don't see any kind of regression. I can see the running game being really, really good. I also like Ripkowski back there, the fullback, who they gave a ton of carries to and saved the fumble in the NFC Championship game. The kid did a really good job, and I think he's a great compliment.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of Packer games. I mean, you being a fan of the Packers, and also my brother being a fan of the Packers, so I like to follow. I like to follow that team. It's a team that I like and enjoy watching as well. And listen, you have one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and you have the last couple of years. And what he did at the end of that season to get them back to that powerhouse Packer team that they were was amazing. Because I thought, to be honest with you, I thought he was regressing. I really did.
Yeah, a lot of people did. And he might have been. But he never ceases to amaze me. And McCarthy says it all the time. He always says number 12 just never. He's always got something new. He just never ceases to amaze me. And the offense, it's gonna be dynamic again. You bring in Martellus Bennett now. I mean, that's an exciting little proposition there.
Yes.
As long as the receivers are healthy, Nelson Cobb Adams, the emergence of Geronimo Allison. I mean, that's a great group. The offensive line should be just as they bring in Jari Evans, who's been nothing but a stellar pro his whole career to play left guard.
Definitely great pick.
I think the question is, just like every single year, is can the defense hang? I mean, can the defense hold up their end of the bargain? And again, like they do every year, they have the pieces in place. I mean, the defensive line got deeper. Kenny Clark's got a year under his belt now. He's going to play a big role. Mike Daniels is probably going to be a Pro Bowler. The linebackers, we lose Peppers. Okay, we still got Clay. Nick Perry's back. You got Jake Ryan in the middle. I love Blake Martinez. The linebacker group I like. And the defensive backfield was obviously the problem last year. I think you had a big second-year regression with Rollins and Randall. They battled through injuries. They battled through just not playing very well. But Rollins has had a great camp from everything I'm hearing. They bring in Kevin King, not a first-round draft pick, but their first pick. It was in second round.
No matter how their team looks, I mean, as a Giant fan, where we have to facing this team in the playoffs last year, and hopefully not again, because I just worry about facing Aaron Rodgers. If he's on your team, you're probably good enough.
With number 12, you always have a chance.
Well, there you go.
You always have a chance, and we'll have a chance again this year as long as he's behind center. But I think the defense can really make strides. McCarthy does a good job of addressing the biggest need from year to year, and obviously the pass defense. So I fully expect it to improve.
That's great, man. That's great. I mean, it's an exciting time right now. Baseball's winding down, getting down to the nitty gritty. The playoffs are going to happen in a couple months, which is great. And football's starting, man. The Giants got the Steelers next Friday. I know it's preseason, but it's a Giants football game.
It's
I'm
still
excited.
football.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? This weekend, what are we looking forward to watching? I don't know what's out there. I know the Mets and Yankees got some games, but anything you guys are listening?
Yeah, well, be honest, I'm kind of up to my eyeballs in dirty diapers right now. But
Yes, you are.
well, you know, I don't know what is on. You guys
Well,
got anything?
you got two.
Yeah,
You got two more games with the Indians.
Yeah.
And then
It's
Mets got two more with these Dodgers, man. So we're facing some tough clubs here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dodgers look real good. But I mean, let's just see more from the young guns with the Mets. But I know. Have you guys seen what happened yesterday? The first round of the Ellie Mae Classic in golf. You have any idea what I'm talking about?
No, tell us.
I don't even know what the Ellie Mae Classic is.
It's somewhat Ellie Mae.
Well, neither did I until a certain someone played in a golf tournament this weekend. And it's Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors playing in a golf tournament.
I knew he was a golfer. He's that good. He can play on like a real tour.
Well, apparently, he said, he says, "Oh, my handicap's a 2." But this tournament's, I guess, close to San Francisco, and I don't know how he's able to do it, but they let him do it. The tournament's getting a lot of press, but a lot of people are kind of thinking. But so he comes out his first tee shot, the first shot of the day, right off the tee box, and it's a par 4, ends up in the cup.
Really?
On his tee shot?
He Happy Gilmore'd it?
The tee shot, it ended up in the cup of a golf cart from the Ranger off the fairway.
You had me go. I thought you meant the hole.
That's what I thought too.
So they have to go over there. He takes the drop. His first ever tee shot. He has to call over a rules official to see what he should do. It landed right in the cup holder on the golf cart.
What a dope.
So after that, though, everyone's probably laughing their ass off. Oh, this guy sucks. What is he doing out there? He goes out. He comes to get 3 birdies in the day. He shoots a 4 over 74.
Yeah, not bad.
He beat one of the guys in his group in his pairing.
Wow. And
then I know he was ahead of the field a lot. And before we started the pod, he was through 12 holes and 4 over for today as well. With at least 3 pros behind him. So he's beating some sort of pro in this tournament. So you know what? People thought it was a laughing stock. It's not. He's playing really well. Could he one day? I mean, you can't say that he's been practicing his whole life for this. I mean, he's one of the best NBA players out there. Do you think one day, like at the end of his basketball career, he might be able to play on a golf tour?
Should ask Dave Dombrowski about it.
Well, no, that's a great story, Ryan. I like that. That's pretty cool. A lot of these guys they just have that athletic ability to just play anything. It's amazing.
Well, and then coming up this week, I mean, you asked what's up for the weekend. Other than the baseball, this is baseball season only. But Thursday we got Quail Hollow PGA Championship. So I'm always watching the golf majors. I'm excited for that one.
Last major of the year.
Yeah, we'll see if Spieth can get this one. I think there's a lot of people are going to tune in to see if Spieth can get the PGA Championship.
Yeah, that's the last piece, right, of the career slam.
Yeah, the last piece. And if he did it, I mean, to do it at his age, that would be pretty incredible.
Yeah, that'd be great to watch. Then.
Good, that's good stuff.
Great to watch. Good. Well, I think we had a great discussion tonight, boys. It was great hanging out with the Angry Hacks. So, guys, just make sure you check us out on our YouTube page, Angry Hacks. Also, we're on iTunes. We'll be coming at you each week with a new topic, a new hack. So, as of now, we're going to sign out, and I hope you tuned in and you enjoyed our discussion today. So, we'll see you guys later.
All right, take it easy, boys.
Have a good weekend, everybody.